Hey all you zealots and zerlings out there, I've got a 1 versus 1 game for you today, and this game was sent to be my good friend, Dunamai, and this is actually the first of his qualifier games for the 1v1 ladder system. He sent me all 5 games, so we will get to see all of them, and let's get right into this game, which is, as I said, the first. Okay, I'm repeating myself, that's great. And we see he spawned as the red Terran. I believe he said that he's not a Terran player. I believe he's going random for all these, so he's going to be kind of a random player, which is very difficult because you end up having to learn all 9 possible matchups if you're going to do random. But if you can pull it off, you'll also probably be pretty darn good too. His opponent is Valas, the blue Terran. The map is Xel'Naga Caverns, which is a 2-player map, so both players know exactly where the other one is. It looks like we've already got an early scout for Valas. And we got a supply depot just finishing for Dunamai. Is he going to get his barracks up? He doesn't quite have the resources for it yet. But he doesn't want to take that guy too far away. He wants to get that barracks going. Get the production tab up. He's not building a barracks, so what is he doing right now? He's got a scout in his base, don't have to worry about that. Now the barracks goes down. I'm not sure why that was so late. And it looks like he's going to be a little bit behind Valas, even though he could have gotten it down before Valas did. Both are doing a pretty standard wall in, and I've actually heard people say that they don't like to wall in for Terran versus Terran. And I guess I could understand that, because all the Terran units are ranged, so they can do pretty good against a wall. And since they're pretty much mirrored units, they can stand far enough back to hit the buildings, hit the wall in, but not let your units get in range. So that might just be the reason why. And we've got a second barracks going down, so he's going 2 racks, which kind of an aggressive build, I think. I'm not that familiar with Terran builds and what they mean. I don't know, does he have any gas? He does have gas yet, so I'm not really sure what he's doing with that. He's getting his orbital command now. Probably could have started that a little bit sooner, since he's already pumped out his first Marine and getting a tech lab. Dunamai is getting a bunker at his front door. Now, I'd almost like him to see if close this off somehow. Like maybe put his bunker over here. I don't know if it would fit. Or maybe move the barracks over, because he's got this little window here where the units can come in. And, I mean, if he's got people in his bunker, they'll take a lot of damage trying to run around. And also throwing down his second barracks, so nobody's going to go for a factory yet. We do have a Marauder for Valas. And a Marine for Dunamai. Oh, now he's getting a reactor out. So I've never been good with the add-ons and in what order to get them. I don't know. Usually the first one's going to be a tech lab. I don't know if the second one should be a tech lab or a reactor or what. It might depend on your build. I'm not sure. He's going to finish his wall off. Dunamai is not. We check the income tab. And Dunamai does have the harvester lead. That will help him out later on. I hear him using his mules. He is using his mules. That is excellent. So he does have the resource lead right now. He's running off 2 gas. Although he only has 1 harvester there, he needs to get 2 more in there. If indeed he is trying to go for a gas-heavy build, which getting a tech lab there. He does not have any add-ons there yet, but he's pumping out some Marines, so maybe he wants to get some production out of that one. See what he can do with that tech lab, get the production tab back up. Oh, we do have concussive shells for Valas. So he's going for that upgrade, and we're getting an engineering bay for Dunamai, so he's could be going for early upgrades. Maybe get some missile turrets. That's way too soon for missile turrets. There's no way that a Terran's going to have, well, I guess the Terran could have a starport up by now, but that's really something he should scout if he's worried about it. Throw down a scan. Let's see what exactly Dunamai can see in this base. He has not scouted anything at all, so he has no idea what's going on. He is now getting a factory and combat shields. And we get the +1 attack for Val, so I guess he already had his engineering bay down. So he seems to be a little bit ahead. I mean, Dunamai does have the economy advantage. I'd almost like to see him getting an expansion now, since it doesn't look like he's moving out. He can't afford to get a command center right now. He probably should do that, because he's not really putting a lot into an army right now. That production, okay, he's getting something off of that one. So yeah, I'd almost like, okay, so he's pulling his Marines out of the bunker. Maybe he feels safe. Is he going to cancel this? Looks looks like he's trying to move out, but he is blocked in. He moved his barracks to put on the add-on and did to complete the wall, and so he has to drop this down if he wants to get out, and he could probably salvage this, I think. Go back to the production tab. It doesn't look like anybody is getting an expansion yet. And I thought I saw missile turrets going down for Dunamai. He's putting it in his, yeah, he's putting it here. I don't know if this is the best position for this missile turret. It's very hard to get back here. I guess you can squeeze back here. But I would either like to see him put it in right here in this middle line, so it's actually defending all of his workers, or up on this northern flank just to kind of discourage any Banshee sneak in or anything like that. And he is putting down a starport now. And I don't really know what kind of build he's going. He's building up a lot of resources. He could be getting down a command center, building on his economic lead. Oh, he looked like Valas was thinking about moving out, changed his mind. Check the army size. He does have a slight army advantage, not enough to be that big a deal because, like, you know, look, he's got 2 Marines right here. That's 2 of those army right there that aren't part of his advance. So the army are pretty even right now. It looks like he is catching up in the harvester count, so I'm not really sure what Dunamai is doing right now. He's keeping his resources fairly low. I think that is going to slowly give him more and more of a lead if Dunamai does not make something happen right now. And he's kind of shifting out with his army. Is anybody making an expansion yet? I don't see any expansions, which I think Dunamai should have a much bigger army if he's not having any expansion yet. It looks like he's just dropping down supply depots. I'm not sure about putting this many out here. You get a Banshee out here. These supply depots are history. Both players are researching siege tech, and it looks like combat shields are coming out for Valas, including and the level 1 armor upgrade. And now it looks like Dunamai's the one moving out. He's going to tag the watchtower, likes what he sees, and he's going to advance. This Marine's going to take the long way. Maybe he's, you know, running point or reverse point. I guess point would be in the lead, and this is what these guys are. Is he going to go swing by the other watchtower? I think you should do that. Yeah, check to see there's nobody around. Oh, we do have a command center coming out for Dunamai now. Finally, I think it's quite late. But if he can get it going and get saturated, how's his saturation here now? He is actually not quite saturated here yet. He needs a couple more SCVs here. Definitely think he needs a couple more SCVs here. But it looks like he's going in for the attack. Siege mode is finished for Valas, but he does not have any tanks out yet. That was kind of foolish to research siege mode and have no tanks yet. Now that siege mode research is completely going to waste, but he still has a superior infantry. It is going to drive these people away. The Marauders, though, is going to keep that guy from getting away. They have the 1 attack. Both players have the 1 attack, but Valas just had the superior army, and he's also getting his expansion now. And again, no tanks out on the field yet. I don't like this. I mean, why would you why would you research siege mode if you weren't getting tanks yet? You don't research siege mode, wait for it to finish, and then get tanks, because I'm not sure how much siege mode costs. I probably can't figure out now because it's done for both players, but those resources are just sitting there now, doing nothing while you make your first tank. And he needs to get an army pumped out here. These Hellions, I don't know about these Hellions because they're not going to be able to get in position. He's going to lose this reactor, which is horrible because reactors take forever to build and they are not cheap. And he does not have a very good position here, but he does have the high ground advantage. There are a lot of Marauders here. All the Marines are gone, which the Hellion needs to pull back because he's not going to do much to anyone except, well, he is going to get that Marine, so I guess that was pretty good. He is going to drive this away. No, the Marauders are going to come back. This is going to be pretty close. We do have medevacs here for Dunamai, so that's going to help. He's pulling in reinforcements, so he's going to clean this up. And he needs to get this into an orbital command and get it down to expansion right away because they are even in harvesters. Nobody has built any SCVs in quite some time, which is absolutely a mistake. I'm not saying I'm any better at it, but they're not building up their economy right now, and that could be huge in this game, which seems kind of balanced now. We checked the units lost. Yeah, Dunamai's a little bit behind. I'm not too concerned about this. If he could pull it together and he could take care of this right away. We are getting Vikings out for Valas, which is standard play in Terran versus Terran because the Vikings will give you your siege tank sight so you can hit from further range away. And of course, once you get Vikings, you got to get more Vikings because your opponent might get Vikings, and whoever has the most Vikings is going to win the air battle, and then the siege tanks will win the ground battle because the Vikings are spotting for them, and it just kind of steamrolls. So Viking play is pretty standard. Are we seeing any Vikings from Dunamai? I do not see any. producing. He is not having any on the map, so this could be a huge. This could be huge for Valas' army, that he has a couple of Vikings in there to spot for his siege tanks. And I really would like him to kind of take a forward position here. No, I don't like this. No, not a planetary fortress yet. If he wants to defend this base, put down a couple of bunkers, move your army out here, maybe put some buildings on the low ground just to kind of get in the way, but a planetary fortress now is just going to kill your economy. And what is Dunamai getting? He is not doing anything with this command center yet. He needs to upgrade it into something. His other command center is not producing SCVs. Produce the SCVs off of this one, rally them down to this base, and then convert this into an orbital command. That is what I want to see right now. As soon as this SCV finishes, I want to see an orbital command starting here. And we are getting more Vikings for Valas, which he's way ahead in the Air Force now, so there's no way Dunamai can catch up. That is going to be a huge detriment to him if Valas can use his Vikings correctly. Looks like he's going to move out again with a small force. He does get 1-1 on his infantry. No upgrades for the tanks just yet. And we also have 1-1 for Valas. No upgrades for his tank yet. Nobody's researching any upgrades right now for their tanks. I don't think there's an armory on the field, at least none that I've seen. I do not see one here. I'm pretty sure there is not one for Dunamai either. Nope, there is no. And this missile turret seems almost pointless, because to get there you gotta fly past this expansion or fly past this missile turret. So he could put one missile turret here and it would do the work of both of these. But he's moving out with his army now. He's in good position. If he needs to siege up now and start pelting in this planetary fortress, this is why this is not a useful conversion. This is not a good place for planetary fortress, especially against Terran, which can use the siege tanks. Here comes the army. He needs to bring his army forward to defend these siege tanks as long as possible, but that is not going to happen. But it doesn't look like they're quite focusing down the siege tanks. Two of them do go down. I think he might have enough to clean up his army, though, and his last siege tank is not getting any damage whatsoever. Oh, needed to pull back. Do not get. Oh, now he's in the range of the planetary fortress. That is not going to help. He's going to get his unit slaughtered. He needs to. I think he needs to pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Okay, he's pulled back now. This planetary fortress is going to go down because Valas was not in the correct defensive position to guard it, especially against a Terran with siege tanks. So this is on fire. He's not even. Oh, he's got one SCV repairing it. It looks like he's out repairing the siege tank. One SCV can out repair a siege tank. That is good to know. And he could even siege this siege tank up. I don't know, about here. What's the range on this? He needs to siege the tank up now. Siege the tank up now. He needs to siege the tank up now. Siege your tanks up. Siege your tanks up. Siege your tanks up. He is losing everything because he's not sieging up his tanks. And now they're sieging. I think this is too late. We now have sight on the siege tank, and Dunamai is running his units in to make sure that they do not get hit with the siege mode. And it looks like this planetary fortress isn't going to go down. Looks like he's got two SCVs repairing on it now, and they seem to be. Oh, but now we got the Vikings here landing to try to do some damage, but Dunamai's reinforcements are going to take that out, but his siege tank is now gone. The SCVs are repairing the planetary fortress. He needs to get out of here now. He is just going to die. Oh, he's going to lose the siege tank if they focus. Yeah, they're going to try to focus it down, and he needed to get out of there. He's just threw this army away. He was in good position, but then I think he kind of messed it up. He actually could have once he cleared up this army the first time, he could have, instead of just pelting against this planetary fortress, moved his army over here and tried to set up a contain, and that would have done very well. We checked the units lost now. It is still pretty even. And check the income tab. Dunamai does have a slight advantage, a couple of extra harvesters, but he needs a lot more. This is nowhere near saturated. He did get the orbital command. I'm glad for that, but he's got a ton of energy. He's not using his mules enough. This orbital command is at full energy. It looks like he did just drop a mule on that one. So he is finally using it again. I guess he was focused up on that battle. We checked the APM. He's got a pretty decent 40 for this level of play. Well, I guess I don't know what level of play it is. It's the qualifiers, so it could be any level of play technically. And I'm not sure I like him. I'd like him to kind of get a couple more siege tanks up here, siege up here, and then sort of leapfrog his siege tanks forward. Try to stay out of the range of the planetary fortress. I don't think he can take it down right now. There are too many SCVs. Although if he can take out some SCVs instead of this planetary fortress, he's not going to do anything to this planetary fortress. There are too many SCVs. If they start repairing, they will out-repair this army, no problem. And it looks like this army's bigger. He's got more units here. This tank needs to siege. No, that was not good. He needed to siege back here, not right in front of the army. And now this battle is cleaned up. That is probably going to reflect, yeah, now Dunamai is fallen behind in units lost. We check the army size, and he is almost 20 behind in the army. That is not looking good. I don't think he handled the battles here just quite the best way he possibly could have. He needed to be a little more patient, get his siege tanks in better position, not pulling him into the front of his army and then sieging when they're already in the crossfire. Definitely lost the air superiority battle. I don't even think he's producing any Vikings. No, the Vikings are all coming from Valas. We are getting an army from Dunamai. Is it for upgrades or Thors? I don't think I'd recommend Thors right now. They would not really do him any good whatsoever. He needs to stick with siege tanks and then maybe just the bigger infantry. He's got a nice siege tank count. I just like to see him pump out the occasional siege tank and then just keep cranking out the infantry. Let's check his production facilities. He's got 2 barracks. That is not nearly enough. I think he'd actually do better with 1 factory, and like he should have like 5 or 6 barracks right now, because then he would have a huge army right now. Oh, and it looks like Valas is coming in here. He does have his tanks sieged up, so he does have the superior position. So that was perhaps foolhardily, and they need to stop running down this medevac and start shooting this army. Where they're just going to go chase down that medevac. They need to shoot the units that are right here. Valas seems to be completely ignoring his army. What is he doing, Valas? Valas, you've got the lead right now, and you're going to throw it away by ignoring your army. What is he doing? Instead, he's going to research a pretty gimmicky upgrade for his bases. He's getting the high-sec auto-tracking, which if I can find is in an engineering bay. Where was that? I know I saw that before. There it is. +1 range on his turrets and missile turrets and planetary fortress and point defense drones. So there's no reason for that right now. Now he is getting an armory as well. I have yet to figure out what these armories are for. It looks like we're getting level 2 infantry from Dunamai. Do not have level 2 infantry. See, he could be using this on level 2 infantry, not for some gimmicky building upgrades. He does not need a range upgrade on the planetary fortress, honestly. He's defended it just fine. He does not need the range upgrade, and Valas is still not... Why did he just... He's just, like, given up on these air units. I don't know what's going on here. He just lost that army and then just left whatever survived just kind of scattered on the map. And we do have a pretty decent force here. I would like to see a lot more infantry, and I'd like to see that tank repaired, and he needs to be very careful how he handles this. Oh, yeah, no, okay, good. He scanned that. That's probably not the good way to go. If he's going to do that, he needs to come in here and then slowly move this way. This siege tank's in position, so he does have to be careful. Very good sieging up. He probably sieged up a couple at a time. Except now, this is where Vikings would be very handy, because right now, he cannot see this, but if he just got a Viking just about right here, then these siege tanks would be able to hit. It looks like now he has some vision. Oh, this Marine's going to lose his life. Oh, this Marine is... But now the siege tank is gone because he did have a good siege position. It looks like this planetary fortress might go down. The SUVs need to repair. They're going to repair, but it's too late, and now in comes the army, but they're coming in single file, and they're going to get slaughtered with this many siege tanks. Oh, that was absolutely brutal. And now he needs to start moving his siege tanks forward very, very slowly. I don't think... There's only one factory here. He cannot produce siege tanks fast enough, and Dunamai just needs to unsiege right now, move into positions, take these back tanks, move them up to here, siege up, keep reinforcing with as much infantry as he can get up here. Okay, good. He's got some unsieged. I think he's doing this right. They need to move forward about right here, I would say. He's gonna siege up there. He needs to be reinforcing with more infantry. He's producing Thors. I want to see him produce Marines. Just pump out Marines. That's what I want to see right now. Marauders are fine, but definitely get some Marines out there. But he's doing this right. He's being patient with his army. He's slowly leapfrogging it forward. And we check that Valas is out of money, or he's out of mining. He's mining nothing. He's very low on money. Oh, no. He's a little overzealous with the siege tanks now. And now they're getting pelted at. Okay, good. I guess he maybe had temporary vision there and he lost that. So now this siege tank is going to go down. And Thor is here, but Thor is not going to be able to do anything against this army. And I think if Dunamai just stays patient, he has got this game. He just has to stay very, very patient. I really would like to see him get these medevacs up front to kind of spot for the rest of his army, because now his siege tank is getting pelted by this one. And there are no siege tanks producing right now. I think it's a little premature to bring his army in here. Oh no, he got a little overzealous with his army. I don't think this was a good idea. He might clean it up, but it was, I think, a bit too aggressive. And now Valas is not producing anything. He still has money. I don't know why he's doing nothing with it, but I don't think there's anything he can do at his point. He's losing his base. He's not producing anything right now. So I don't... Maybe he's just in panic mode. I think it's time for a good GG. It was kind of back and forth. Now he's going to try to produce a Thor, but Thor's take 60 seconds. His base does not have 60 seconds, and these siege tanks could easily focus down this factory, which is the only threat remaining right now. There's nothing that can come out of here. A Viking will not do him any good. He can't afford it anyhow. He put all his money into that Thor. This is his last line of defense, and did I just cancel that? I think I just canceled that. Clicked on it and it canceled. So now he's going to abandon his base. But did his orbital command make it out? His the only way he can survive now is SCVs survive because he lost his orbital command. Oh, he did place something here. I don't know. Oh, but no, he's just going to leave the game. So it was kind of even. I thought Dunamai fell behind, but he rallied, and he did exactly what he needed to do to take out this base. He sieged up in a good defensive position, slowly moved forward, and just was very, very patient. And Valas just sent his army single file into the meat grinder. I mean, that's the best technology you can get. And I think Dunamai did very well. He got a little aggressive sometimes. He didn't retreat sometimes when he needed to. Macro could have been better, but in the end, he got a good army. He executed the right strategy, and he won the game. So we'll move on to game 2, and have a day.